part 5, the first year. Hello, welcome back. This is the video series on living with postpartum psychosis and bipolar disorder. So, what happens in the first year? It's a very critical time in your life to start with. What kind of timeline have we got? And I've started explaining this in the previous videos. Now I'm looking at the timeline not for at hospital, but for the first year. So what happens? You've got the acute phase in the high-risk ward for about a month. Yes, we've said that. Then you've got this less acute phase at the low-risk ward, maybe for 5 weeks. So 9 weeks total at the hospital. Could be more, could be less. Then you go through a period where you're at home, but you still need a little help from either your family or from having regular nurse visits, and that will last maybe 3 months. Could be even longer if you have family nearby. Could be longer. Yeah, and then if you're as lucky as I was, I got a carer for 3 months who came 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. 5 days. I mentioned this in the last video. And it was to help me to learn to have autonomy to look after my son, who is now a few months old. And then I'm saying, let's say about 8 to 12 months, you might start to get enough autonomy. What have I got? Autonomy plus extra ongoing. Yeah, okay. I've said autonomy plus extra ongoing role of father. So after 8 to 12 months, you're starting to get some autonomy. You can start to look after your child, but your husband still plays a really important role, and that will continue forever. That he has to accept that he needs to do a bit more. Yeah. Okay. And then managing the side effects. I promised I will talk about this. So antipsychotic drugs, lithium, they're pretty full-on medicines. You can poison yourself if you have too many. And I'm already taking a lot. But you're already, you're dealing with being with the illness, but then you also have to deal with being with these side effects from these really strong medications. So this is just a few of my tips. They may not apply to everyone. Okay. One thing that happens is you get dizzy spells. Okay. So you have to get into the habit when you get up in the morning, you get up slowly. Every morning you get up slowly. Otherwise, you might fall and have a dizzy spell and fall over. It's happened to me before. It's not much fun. Yeah, so getting out of bed slowly to combat dizzy spells, that's one thing. Taking more medication and eating lots of fiber against constipation. So basically, constipation is a side effect. To deal with the side effect, you can do and or both. Have more fiber, but also you might have to take some medicine to stop the constipation. Which it just seems so stupid, doesn't it? You have to take medicine to stop a side effect from a medicine. I can't even say it. Yeah. Glamorous, hey, talking about constipation. Eating healthy and exercising well to stop putting on weight. Somebody told me the other day that I'm full of excuses. And I probably am. But what it makes me think of is about this one, the weight issue. There is, it's a side effect of a lot of these medicines, is that they might make you put on weight. But this is one that I'm not making excuses for. I believe that is not an excuse to let you put on weight. You can still exercise regularly and manage your weight with these medications. You might not be able to run as fast. Maybe you're a bit slower. I don't know, but you can still do exercise. None of this is stopping you from exercising and eating well. So don't make excuses. Look after yourself. That's what I want to say. Okay, good example. Another thing that happens is the fact that you're taking so much medicine and you're sleeping a lot is that you start to see your posture not being so good. I've really noticed this. So what I propose is to go swimming maybe once a week and doing some yoga, dancing, I don't know, to help you with your poor posture caused by excessive sleeping. Like a psychiatrist might not even talk to you about that, but you might notice it yourself. Maybe not in the first year. It might be more. For me, it's been in the fifth year after being diagnosed. I really start to notice my posture wasn't so good. So, so I've started doing yoga more regularly and I'm really noticing the benefits. Dry mouths. I've written down, I gave up on preventing. You can get mouthwashes for dry mouths, but it's not very nice. So I'll leave that up to you. There's stuff out there if you have trouble with your dry mouth. Me, I just drink water and deal with it. Sometimes I'm a bit embarrassed because I get like these yucky white things on my lips. But shit happens, hey? Like Forrest Gump says. Yeah. Okay, and I have an advice. Using the weekly medicine boxes to help you to remember to take your medicine at the right time. So you get the little box and it's got mornings, lunchtime, evenings, bedtime, and you put all your medicines in at the beginning of the week. If you have a really reliable and small pharmacy nearby, you might be able to get them to sort your medicines for you. I've never done this in the end. I've just used the box and I'm happy with the box. It is a really good thing to do because sometimes you forget and you cannot afford to forget. You cannot afford to. You have to take your medicines every day. Okay, just a few thoughts about the first year. It's a huge trauma, both the birth and the experience of going to the hospital. I look in the mirror and I hardly recognize myself. My facial expressions are either contorted or blank. Not right now. I'm talking about when you're in that first year. I have a severe lack of confidence and it's scary learning to be a real mum. This is an understatement. It is really scary becoming a mum for every new mum, but on top of that, you've got this illness that you're dealing with, and it is so scary, and you need lots and lots of help and support and kindness from people. And the only way you're going to get that is by reaching out to people and admitting that you need that help and embracing that help. It's there for you. Take advantage. You need it. Have I already said this? Hang on. Yeah. I try to find a normal existence. I join a mother's group, even though my baby is 3 months older than the other babies. Yeah, do some normal stuff. Join a mother's group. Whatever you can find. Doesn't need to be lots of things, just like once a week is enough. Okay. I have lots of negative thoughts that the psych nurse helps me to live with. She describes the train. This idea that all these thoughts are coming past on a train and you just need to just let them exist and not judge them, just accept the fact that they're there. And then that's all you can do really at that very beginning bit when you still have lots and lots of crazy thoughts. I can't help having a great sense of guilt that somehow everything is my fault. This is something you might feel in that first year, you might blame yourself for everything. Or as I mentioned about the fact that my husband had to do lots more things, then you feel really awful that he's so negatively impacted. But then you have to just try and find a way to see a positive lining. Isn't it amazing then that my husband gets to have such a great relationship with his children that he wouldn't have had if I was well, because he would be working lots of hours and he wouldn't make the time probably. So you gotta turn things around, find a positive. The first year is really, really hard, but you can do it. You can do it, you can get there. All right, thanks very much for your time. Next one, what have we got? The care plan. We're going to talk about the care plan next, and about having a second child. Okay, thanks for your time. Cheers.